My name now is Yusuf Abdul Haq,
MashaAllah.
and my age is 26. Prior to me embracing Islam, well, let's say I have a Christian background. You know, my parents were priests in Christianity, so I grew up mainly in a religious house. You know, we had to pray before we eat, and you know we have to attend to church and things like that, Bible studies. But the thing is that, you know, there was never true answers given to certain questions that we used to ask. And when we used to ask too many questions, they used to tell us that that was the devil asking the questions. So they would not encourage us to ask too many questions. But then that was when I was in Angola. Then I left the country when I was young. I was about 6, 7. Then I came to Europe again and went to Portugal. And in Portugal, I was living with elder brothers and so on. But basically, things never worked out for one of my brothers, so he sent me to Germany. And then there I went to live with another brother. Came back, came to England. So I was mainly going around countries because it was just mad family problems. But then the thing is that through that, I was losing touch with my spirituality because when I was away from my parents, I wasn't practicing like I was when I was with them. And then finally I came back to Portugal and stayed there for like 9 years. And yeah, life was just different really. I started doing certain things like at an early age, you know. Had to get money at an early age. I was like 13 and I was already trying to get money and things like that. By the time I was 14, I already had a little car. And you know, life was different then. Then after a while, when I turned like 15, 16, I went to Holland. I went to see my sister. And, you know, I got there. By then I already knew a bit of Islam, but I didn't have the full picture, but I knew about it. When I got to Holland, I see that my sister was a Christian, you know, and she didn't like Muslims because the way she was taught like about Muslims was that they were all terrorists and that, and you know, they just like to bomb places and kill people for no reason. So when she heard that I was kind of showing interest towards Islam, she wasn't too happy about it, you know. But then at that time I wasn't like focusing on it. Then after that I came back to England, and yeah, life was peak then. You know, I went back to South London, saw my friends from back in the day. And then at that time, there was a gang that was really predominant in South, which was PDC. And you know, these other people that I grew up with as well. Well, I cannot speak for everyone, but to my personal experience, it's because you're always looking for an answer, you know, to many questions that arise. You know, you ask, why is this happening? Or why is that happening? Why do you see people suffering like this? Why do you see others not suffering like that? And then one of the main questions comes when you see your close ones dying. You know, like, what happens when you die? Where do they go? Why do you die? Do you come back? Is there reincarnation? You know, there's many things that will make you ask those questions. But then drugs, I would say, is because of personal experiences. To be honest, like things that you go through in life, you know, depression, anger, you know, anxiety, many things like that will lead you to take drugs or lead people to take drugs. Well, there's many reasons behind it. I think one of the main reasons is, if you see, is like there's too much taxation, you know, and then people work and they don't see the real value of money. So when you find a way to make the money without people having to take out of your suffering, I mean, it sounds better and it feels better, you know. So drugs is the easiest way, really, you know, to have that money in full. Like we say, get paid in full, you know what I mean? But then, in the end of the day, if you carry on doing it, it will take you hell. That's the only place it will take you. I ain't gonna say more than that. Even if you think that you live in paradise in this life, in the end, when the true life happens, which comes after your death, as we know now, you know, it will take you hell. Even in this life, if you flop it, you're gonna feel hell. Well, I never reached the Godfather status. I never had a Bentley or anything, but you know, I had stuffs. I can say I've reached a certain good level, you know, that 10, 20 grand wasn't a thing, to be honest, you know. But I've been around people that, yeah, they reached levels, you know what I mean? Like, they reached levels, you know. They've seen a meal to them wasn't a hard thing to achieve, you know what I mean? Like, and they seem to be happy. To be honest, they seem to be happy, you know, every day smiling, hotels, and, you know, life was good. You know, they had different houses here and there. But then in the end of the day, if they didn't have the thing going on, they would not feel happy. So you're not really happy, because you think that once you reach that mill, you're happy, and you chill, you don't need to do it no more, you're rich for life. But nah, because once you're in that life, you associate with other people that they make you feel that you need to spend in a certain way. So that million doesn't feel like a million. So you have to carry on like consistently doing it so that you meet the what people expect from you. Like, they want to see you spend, not see you save, to be honest, you know what I mean? So, well, the first thing is, like, you know, the truth can only be confirmed by the Creator itself. You know, it gives you that touch in your heart that you know. But then at the same time, he gave us, like, you come to learn that he gave us certain abilities to see, hear, and feel the truth, which they're numbed up along the way when you messed up in the lifestyle. You know what I mean? You lose those senses, the ability to see. You know, so when you live in an urban lifestyle, when you live in a place like that, I mean, it's just too much going on. You know what I mean? It comes to a point that you contemplate yourself. Even when you're high, like, you sit down, you bun a spliff, and then everything just comes to your head. That's when certain questions come into your head. That's when certain things come into your head. And then sometimes that's when those feelings are awakened. And then when you come back to sober, you think, wow, how come I'm not thinking like I was yesterday when I was high? You know what I mean? Like, what was that came into my mind that, you know, I was thinking like this, and like that. And then, I don't know, God will just put you in a situation that you're going to be exposed to something regarding Islam. And then from there, it just comes, you know what I mean? To be honest, it came, like, the first time I heard about it was in school, you know, history class. They were talking about, you know, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, you know, and they were explaining how well, the terminology they used for the Muslims were the Moors, you know, how the Moors came and conquered, like, Portugal, you know, and Spain, like, because it used to be one land. And then how, you know, the influence that they caused, like, they brought numeration and this and that. You know, at the time, you want to take it in because you're going to have to do it. I mean, you have to study afterwards and do a test about it, you know. So I had to pay attention to it. But the picture that I had is that those people pray, like, with their backs in the air. You know what I mean? Like, people say, yeah, this guy's praying with their back in the air and that. Come on. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's the only thing I know. They wear turbans on their head. So you kind of don't know who the Sikhs are, who the Muslims are. You just see they got something on their head, they got a beard, and yeah, they're all the same. But then I got an older brother that my eldest brother, Suleiman, I would say that he was the most, like, jahi out of everyone, innit? Like, basically, he was the first millionaire in our family, innit? And then the way he acquired it wasn't nice. You know, he went low for it. You know what I mean? He done the worst thing you can think. So, but he managed to get his meals up. But then he lost everything. Allahu Akbar, you know, he lost everything. And then he saw himself in a world that wasn't too nice, because he had to involve himself into magic prior to that. You get me? So now, one day he comes and we see him dressed with we had a thobe, something on his head. And I'm thinking, right, looks like them people on TV and that. And then he started talking to me and explained about Islam. And because from the little that I learned from school, I just put two and two together. You know what I mean? And then from there, I just started investigating it. And then it took me like a week. And then it was a Friday, Jummah. I just said, you know what, today I want to take my Shahada. And then, yeah. I felt peace. Because the first thing is that all the brothers, they come in and greet you. You know, it's like, they make you feel special. That's something that you can't explain. You have to go for it to understand, you know. Like, at that moment, I already felt like I was in the right place. But then when they all come and you see the genuine smiles in their face and they're all greeting you, saying, you know, wishing you all